Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and we just got, well, actually, I say just, last night, got an update on the new Pokemon that is coming this weekend for the new 7-star raid, and it is going to be Chesnaught. Now, as you can see right away, this is going to have a Rock-type Tera, so this is one of those Pokemon that's going to have a lot of coverage, and we're going to really need to, think our way through this to ensure that we know how to handle the situation. So let's take a quick look at this Pokemon. Now, we don't know any of the movesets yet. Per usual, we're going to try to surmise early on what this is doing, but they've really thrown this for a loop lately. It's been one of those... a lot of these Pokemon have... they've had status moves that we hadn't expected. They've had some other, some general, type of move that we weren't really expecting. Now, being that this is grass fighting with a Rock Tera, you can guarantee there's going to be at least one grass move, at least one fighting move, and there's definitely going to be a rock move somewhere in there. Now, that's going to give a ton of coverage. The good news is, though, that does mean it is going to be rock defensively, so rock solo from a defensive standpoint. So that in and of itself isn't going to be all that difficult to overcome. The problem is you're going to have a well of moves to kind of deal with. Now, the other thing to consider here, if we go down here and look at its defensive structure, so HP isn't the greatest, attack is very high, defense is very high, but special attack, special defense, and speed all kind of lackluster. So really, you're going to want to use a special attacker here. Physical attacks, they're not going to be the best, right? Physical attacks are definitely going to be at a bit of a loss. So the other thing to consider is in the move set here, Spiky Shield being kind of the signature move, so to speak, that is almost guaranteed going to be on this Pokemon. And Spiky Shield pretty much ensures that if you do any physical attacks at all, you're going to be taking a ton of damage. I believe it's 1/8 of your total health every single time you use it, or every single time you physically attack when he has it on his system. So physical attackers are completely out. You're going to have to use special attackers, no questions. That's 100% going to be a thing. Now, rock moves rollout is a distinct likelihood. I would not be shocked. And the really scary part about rollout is with 90% accuracy, you're probably going to get hit several times. That is one of those things that you are going to want to make sure that you have resistance to and that you're able to avoid time and time again. So it may be one of these situations where, while we normally brute force this and just kind of go in as hard as humanly possible, you may actually want to sit down and think of a way to kind of evade a lot of these attacks. You're probably going to want a decent amount of evasion. So that is one of those things that may be an issue. Now, I'm going to sit down with some of my other crew this weekend, and we're going to, or say tonight, and we're going to look at this, and we're going to analyze this and try to come up with some, good strategies. Unfortunately, we haven't necessarily been right lately, but it at least gets us on the right path. So there's Rock Slide. Rock Slide might be a possibility. Stone Edge is a distinct possibility. 100 attack power, but only 80% accuracy. But I kind of feel like Rollout might be the one. So we got to really think about this. We got to look at, because you do have grassy terrain, so any grass moves are going to hurt hard. So you need to have grass resistance. I can almost guarantee you that grassy terrains can be one of those extra, because if you don't know the structure of how these are built, essentially, you have 4 basic moves, and then usually you have 1 or 2 status moves. The only exception to that was Charizard, who had 8 moves in total. Charizard was just stacked with moves. But usually they hit 4 basic attack types, and then 1 or 2 status moves. So these are things that we need to be aware of. Now, Spiky Shield is probably going to be a status move, and because it is a status move, it'll probably be one of the tertiary moves at the end, as will probably Grassy Terrain. Though I've really got to go through and I've got to look at all of these status, because you see there's tons of status moves that could definitely be a situation here. Though I don't think Rain Dance or Sunny Day are possible. we just really got to sit down and analyze all these status moves and see. Because last time with Inteleon, I did not see mist happening at all. So my early builds really just kind of knock that out of the window. So we've got to kind of see what's going to be coming up. But can pretty much guarantee Spiky Shield. I'm willing to bet grassy terrain, so grass moves will hurt really badly. Rollout is one of those things that I'm very, very cautious about, and increasing your evasion may definitely be key to long-term success in this. This might be one of those situations where, unlike with previous raids, where you could just kind of go in, buff yourself up, brute force your way through it, and, one-shot them in certain types of situations, this might be the exception to that rule. But we will have to see. So, once again, Chesnaught, a grass fighting type. I want to get that straight. A grass fighting type with a rock Tera, so be very cautious. We'll come back. We'll talk about this later on this week. For now, like, comment, share, and I'll be back with more Pokemon for you guys really soon.